everybody. Midlife Vices, episode 14.
Welcome,
this is our Christmas
everybody. Midlife Vices, episode 14. This is our Christmas episode.
And who am I getting feedback from?
Midlife Vices, episode.
An echo there.
Yeah, somebody. And who am I getting feedback from?
Echo there.
Okay, this is a train wreck already.
Not me.
Does anybody not have a headset on?
DC Patrol.
Oh, yeah. That's the guilty one right there.
DC Patrol.
Oh, yeah. That's the guilty one right there.
Merry Christmas.
Do I need headphones?
We're in one big loop right now.
Merry Christmas.
Do I need headphones?
Oh, man.
That help?
Okay. I'm afraid to talk.
Still going.
Nope. Are we still getting it? Jim, do you have headphones?
I don't have headphones on, but
Nope. Are we still getting it? Jim?
Just mute everyone one at a time, and then you'll know who it is. Just mute everyone one at a time.
welcome to the sci-fi episode.
Okay, here we go.
It's like one of those mystery challenges to see who's got the microphone on.
Who's the killer? This is awesome.
This is. Yeah, this. I'm glad I spent all that time on that open video. I don't understand why this.
Christmas.
This is. Yeah, this. I'm glad I spent all that time on that open video. Let me see. That's mute. Oh, yeah, it's still you, DC. Still you, Jason.
Yep.
The killer has been found.
Which we knew from the very start.
Still you, Jason. Now let's see what's happening here. Is that better?
There you go.
That is better.
I love that I got to. Ta-da!
All right,
Killing me.
now let me turn my audio from headset to speakers.
Nice. All right. Anyway, let's try this again. Welcome, everybody. Inevitable gathering of the lost one. Tricks on patrol. We are mid-live Vices. That's right. We're live, and obviously we're mid. And nothing proves that more than what just happened. Something pretty special happening tonight. This is both the Christmas episode and the last episode of MLV Phase 1. We've had the Avengers, we've had the Justice League, and now we got the greatest team up ever. We got Chris and David from LNC, Emmett and Chris from Gathering of the Geeks, and Brian from Planet Titan, as well as Jason from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. And I am Steve, and this is my co-host, Jim. What is going on, Jim?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nice.
There's a lot of noise and nothing to show for it.
Yeah, right? I'm sad we weren't getting that feedback like pre-show. I'm surprised. I don't know. It only happened when we went live. So.
I think he actually turned the audio on when you went live just to mess with you.
Probably, huh? Probably. So, anyway, if you're joining us tonight, we got Kaiser over there in chat with us. Welcome, Kaiser Jose. If you're joining us tonight, tonight's show is going to be our Christmas show list. So we're going to do our top 10 Christmas show list, and we'll get into the details on that as we go along. So let's just go along here and say hello to Chris and Dave from Lost in Comics. What's going on, guys?
Good to be here, sir. Thank you for having us.
Of course. And it's great to have you. And, of course, Emmett and Chris from Gathering of the Geeks. They gather on Sundays. What's up, guys?
Hey, how's it going?
Glad to be here.
Good to have you. Thanks for being here with us. And, of course, Thanos, Brian down there on the bottom of my screen. What's going on?
Don't make me snap.
Don't make you snap. Can you snap out that first 5 minutes of the live episode? Now, that would be awesome.
Use the time, Jim. Go back.
After that introduction?
That's kind of the beauty of live shows, though. Anything can happen, right?
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yes, definitely.
Hey, are you actually making sure that it's recorded?
Yeah, I've only done that one show. That was only once.
Yeah, but we're never going to let you live it down.
That's right. That's good. A good thing to be known for. So let's start off by just asking everybody, you watched anything good the last week or so since you've all done your own last shows? Anybody watching anything good? Anybody reading anything good? something
Watching
out
a
of the
whole lot
ordinary.
of Law and Order.
You finished the Bonds, Emmett?
Yeah, I finished No Time to Die. I think that was Sunday night after we finished our show. I had finished watching that one, so yeah. And now I want to go back and do the Connery and all those ones again. So I'm good doing them way out of order, but it's a lot of fun doing it that way, actually.
The Wife Beater's the best one.
The wife beater.
Yeah, Connery.
On Connery.
I think I agreed with Emmett on the Emmett. It was you that said that you were Pierce Brosnan guy, right?
Yeah, those movies were actually a lot more fun than I realized and thought they were when I first watched them. And I like the format of them, where they're very singular stories in each one. It's not one overarching story.
Right.
I like the goofiness of them. I like the gadgets. I like the Brosnan ones a lot.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. And I think I mentioned to Chris there in chat that it's almost like between Brosnan and Craig is the difference between the MCU and the DCU. And,
That's pretty
the
accurate.
MCU is pretty much Brosnan, and I think that's probably why I prefer his movies. A whole lot more fun.
Even still, huh?
Has
Kaiser
anybody
did a
watched
whole year.
Yeah.
Anybody watch The Warrior Nun on Netflix, a series based off a comic?
No.
No.
Is it good?
No? Yeah, it's actually pretty good. It's got season 2 coming out, so I'm kind of I want to rewatch the first season before I jump into it, because it's been a while, but it's pretty interesting. It's kind of cool. I never read the comic.
Who put out the comic? What?
It was like an indie. Shoot, I don't even remember, but it looks a little racy. The show is not necessarily that way. Don't laugh, Chris. I see you over there.
Is that Gun Honey Racy? Or...
Yeah.
Oh.
The comic book kind of does, but like I said, I never read it, so I don't know if it's just like covers and the inside's normal. But it's about a nun, and she's a warrior, and these nuns are warriors, and it's this whole, I guess, storyline. But pretty cool.
And
Nice.
it's Antarctic Press.
If they can't fly.
Is it Antarctic Press? Man, I would have remembered. I thought I would have remembered that.
I'm looking at it right now.
Oh, nice. Okay, there you go. Antarctic Press.
Nice. And what about you, Laster? You used a lot of Law and Order. I don't know if you were
Yeah.
serious or not. Yeah.
No. The new seasons of all 3 shows started, and for the first time they did all episode 1s connected. So it started with, I think, regular Law and Order, and then moved over to SVU and ended in Organized Crime, and was really good. Like, it was a good how they connected all of them, had the stars from other shows all merging, congealing onto each of them.
Nice.
But it was a good storyline. It was a Ukraine-based storyline of violence.
Cool. Good pre-Christmas viewing, I'm sure.
Hey, well, you know my number 1, so that's probably why.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about you, Jim? Been watching anything?
I watched some Teen Titans Go this morning with the youngest. It's the first time I've ever watched it. Really, that's pretty funny.
Booyah!
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that show.
Yeah, I don't feel it did the best job of introducing the characters. It just kind of throws you in, and I don't know any of them. Yeah, I mean, Robin, I knew.
It's a kids show. Kids don't care about introductions. They just want to see the action.
Yeah, but I was watching it. Didn't you hear that part?
Yeah, you're the biggest kid of all of them.
I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, so
But yeah, that's the first time I've ever watched it. Enjoyed that. Watching a lot of Modern Family.
Yeah.
And,
Nice.
cream puff.
I'm only
So we finished Community, and then 2 days ago, and then we finished our rewatch of Breaking Bad last night, and then we watched El Camino right after. And man, so good, such a good show. Even the second time through,
The show was good. El Camino, on the other hand, I was rather lackluster and disappointed with.
I liked it as a way to just wrap up Jesse's story. But Breaking Bad, I didn't realize, I was telling Jim this before, how funny the interactions are the first couple seasons between Jesse and Walt the whole time. It's pretty good stuff. And then Community wrapped up. I don't know how many of you watch Community all the way through, or just random episodes here and there. It is the weirdest off the rails show that's out there, with some
Kinda like this
really
one.
great episodes and some really odd episodes. And season 6 I love because it just says, "Screw it, we're doing what we're doing, and we don't care what's going on. We know we're getting canceled, and that's the way it's going to go." So,
Have any of you guys watched The League? Since
yeah.
we got some fantasy guys in here. Yeah.
yeah, used to watch it. I haven't watched it in years.
So I've done a little rewatching of those episodes. Forgotten how kind of out there they are. That's pretty. Those are funny.
I want a Shiva for our.
Yeah, nice. I know. I can't believe Chris hasn't given me crap for beating me by 2 points.
Well, I did tell you good night. You know, the night that in the chat I said good night. That was my way of
You were
saying
looking at your phone. Yeah.
goodbye.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I was talking trash early, and I usually do that before I start drinking, and kind of pass out for about a couple hours and wake up and figure out where my scores are.
And
I was
We
like,
usually do
"What?"
that Thursday nights about 8 p.m.
Jim,
well, you know.
Pass out for a couple hours.
Jim has owned me in fantasy, beating me twice, and I have owned you, Pouch, beating you twice.
Yeah, man. Freaking Cowboys, man.
Love it. Yeah.
Jim doesn't let us talk about football on the show, so we got to move on.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jim. My bad.
He says
my bad.
we lose our 12 viewers if we start talking sports. So
that's me. Kaiser's out of here.
yeah, Kaiser left already. So
Oh, man.
anyway, so yeah, just that. We've been getting a ton of snow. I'm tired of shoveling already. Done with it. But we need it. So
Unbelievable.
It was like
Jason,
80 degrees here today.
you've been getting some snow too, haven't you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's too cold to snow right now, though, so at least there's that.
Yeah, for sure.
Kaiser, yes, that's why I didn't.
Mhm.
I didn't actually like him in the show. Not a fan of that character of that actor. Actually,
It's very hard to separate anything he comes out in after the league. It's like he's just such a distinct character in the
I mean,
league, man.
in Parks and Recreation, he's just a jerk.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
Love Paper Girls, though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm sad they're not doing that second season.
That's a travesty.
Really am. Yeah. Really am. Breaking news. So everybody, I'm sure, heard today, Kirstie Alley passed away either today or yesterday. I'm not sure which one it was. Of course,
It was yesterday.
Yesterday.
was it yesterday? Of course, Cheers, Star Trek, Next Generation.
Drop Dead Gorgeous.
No, she was in the original series. She was in
Oh, the original series.
Yeah, she was in the first movie.
In the original, when you're saying original series of what?
Star Trek.
She would have been like 0 years old.
She was in the movie Wrath of Khan.
That's what it was.
Right.
Wrath
Wrath of Khan. There you go.
Yeah,
Thank you.
she
Thank
was
you.
OG. Yeah, no, she was 71.
Yeah, that's crazy. She was that old.
Yeah.
That is just crazy. So that is sad news. And then the second thing, not sure if everybody saw this.
No one pays
this-
attention to comics.
Making plans, and of course, that is Kingdom Come right there that he's showing. If you're not familiar with that story, it is one of the best, in my opinion, Superman stories out there. It's an Elseworlds type story, created in 1996 by Mark Waid. Alex Ross. Takes place on a different Earth. If you're not familiar, it starts off with the Joker killing everyone at the Daily Planet with his toxin. Lois is able to get a mask, and he ends up basically cracking her skull open and killing her.
Spoilers.
Spoiler
Wow.
alert.
Yeah, it's 1996. I think we're good.
Glad I wasn't listening.
Yeah, and I figure 26 years is, 25 years is the limit. We're at 26, so
Usually like to do 30, man.
30. My bad. Of course, Soups goes away. I say, of course, like you probably haven't read it. He goes to his fortress. He goes away for 10 years, and a new superhero team takes over. And the story is basically about that superhero team doing stuff that Superman does not agree with, and so he comes back and stuff, and it goes from there. Really good story. Just the art's great.
Really good
all of
art.
it. Yeah. One of the best. So we'll see where that goes. I don't know if that hint is that they're working on one of those, or if he's just doing that to get people talking.
I think it's just because they're like
I think
at
it's
a desk and
A round table type of
making
Yeah.
plans.
I don't think it's a real hint because I would imagine Kingdom Come is not what you do when you're going to do these DC movies right now.
Right off the bat.
Yeah,
Start at the
that's
end.
not where you start.
Can we see the picture again, Steve?
If I can find it, we may be able to. Here we go.
Yeah, I think it's more like, the diversity of these characters in this, I think that's what he's kind of hinting at, as well as there's like almost like a round table effect here. It's just, I think he plans to do a lot more with a lot of characters that just haven't been talked about, haven't been displayed. I think it's a good sign. I'm so excited for all this. Yeah.
So anybody watching from home now, if there's anybody out there, you just saw the difference in how I interpret art and how everybody else is way more in tune with what they're actually seeing on the pages. So either way, yeah, cool stuff. You guys are so much smarter than me with this stuff. Well, except for
Cut it out, Steve. Cut it out.
Oh, geez. Pouch. I think you're probably probably about the realist. Realist, is that a word? Realist comic book reader I know. Like there's no hidden agendas with you. It's you got what you got, and you're not thinking too hard about it. And I like that. I like not having to think.
Because he can't.
Me too.
He can't think too hard, man.
Words bouncing around in that skull of his.
Yeah.
Jason, do you hear that story?
Only I can make fun of him, Steve. Stop it.
Guys, I'm sorry.
I'm just kidding.
My bad.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry, man.
Chris has me under contract, man. I gotta watch what I say.
Well, I don't believe in contracts, so good luck.
He made me sign a NDC.
NDC.
Yeah.
Bet your ass.
That's not right.
No.
You
NCD.
have a mail message.
We have some viewer mail. Woo. Viewer mail. First one comes from Elaine from New York, and she writes in and says, I'm always excited for your segment. You show me yours and I'll show you mine. But it always ends the same. Neither of you are sponge-worthy. Thanks, Elaine. I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't know.
Tell her to go make out with Jerry and be quiet.
At least one of us has to be sponge-worthy. There's 8 of us here. One of us has to be.
I'm saying Emmett. With the head. With your head, man. I mean, it's
The bald head, yeah.
Yes, it's sponge-worthy, man.
That's right. Second letter, Kelly from Scranton writes in and says, I watch a show every Wednesday. Sometimes I get so bored I just want to scream. Then sometimes I do scream. I just sort of feel out what the situation calls for.
I was wondering
I'm
what
with
I
you
was
on that.
hearing whenever I opened the windows when your show was on.
That's it.
That's our other channel.
And Phil from Los Angeles writes in, congrats on the continued growth of the show. Remember, success is 1% inspiration, 90% perspiration, and 2% attention to detail. Thank you, Phil. I will write that down. Good note.
Nice.
Good note. We'll work on that. Consistency with the perspiration. Usually not a problem. I can get fairly sweaty pretty easily. So, thank you. And where are we? That was our...
You have a mail message.
Man.
That's quickly taking us
Oh,
in.
yes. Wow.
I love
Oh,
when you cut
yes.
yourself off with that.
Wow.
You show me yours, and I'll show you mine.
David's
I'm
Yeah,
so
gonna,
happy.
David's
out
gonna
there
leave
has
Lost in
stuff.
Comics, man. He's gonna want to be with you guys if you keep putting those.
Yeah. we need to up our sound
Put that
department.
Japanese cover out there.
Man.
Yes, you are, Kaiser. You're the official 9th member.
Kaiser, you're the member that we have to look down to see.
So who's got something? Does anybody have something they want to show? Anybody out there? We will start with Jason.
All right. We said we're going holiday themed.
Sure.
I said it was big and fragile.
That's what she said.
Oh, wow.
Look at
That's
that.
cool.
Oh, nice.
Hey.
Cool.
Nice Tim Burton Nightmare Before Christmas.
That's nice, man.
Yeah. My wife got me this way back in the day when we first met.
Where's Oogie? Where's Oogie?
Oogie? I don't know.
Makes me sad. There's no Oogie Boogie.
There he is. I just can't get him in. Whoa, wrong way.
That's what she said.
Nice. Love it.
That's pretty cool.
Love it. Love it.
It's going to be an entire show of people saying, that's what she said.
All right. Who else we got? Who else we got? Anybody? David, Chris, Emmett.
I always got stuff here.
Some goodies.
Chris. We'll go
I've
to-
been. Oh, there you go. Go, Jim. Oh, there I go. All right. I have been reading the Batman, Catwoman, Tom King run. This is the Christmas special that came out. Man, this is such a good run, and it's definitely the whole comic. If you guys haven't read it, the whole 12 issues is based on Christmas and on Christmas songs. And yeah, it's just been a fantastic read. When I started the series, I went maybe 4 issues in, and I told myself I couldn't read it monthly. It was just I kept forgetting whatever happened the month before, which is a lot of what happens with Tom King's writing. But reading it all together, all 12 issues with the one shots, I mean, it's a fantastic series, and I'm glad I didn't give up on it. Yeah, it's really good, and man, so many of the covers and the art in these books. Clay Mann did the 12 issues. Just spectacular. I love that series, and I don't know what it is. I've been on a Tom King kick. I don't know, maybe the last 6 months of this year. But as I was saying last week, a lot.
Liam
How
Sharp
old
did
is
some
that
art on
run?
that too, didn't he?
He
Chris?
did.
What do you
Yeah,
think about those issues? What do you think about the Clay Man less issues?
you can definitely tell it loses a little
Yeah.
something. Yeah. And I like Liam Sharp. It's just I just didn't care for the work in this particular book. It definitely loses some, and you can definitely tell when he takes over. But
It's cool to
outside
get
of that,
some art.
yeah.
Probably good that he who shall not be named isn't here to poo-poo on that Batman Catwoman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, probably a good thing. All right. So who is up next?
Huh,
Jim.
just gonna
Okay, we're going to Jim.
go with an ornament.
Perfect.
Nice. Go Ant-Man.
That's it. Thanks to Tim from the Nerd Room. Sent me that.
Nice.
You have other friends?
Not anymore.
Well, he never said that it was his friend. He just said Tim sent it to him.
Well, he said from the nerd room, and I don't appreciate that at all. Man.
Another good Canadian boy.
Yeah.
Nice.
Most of my friends are Canadian.
I just got a DC Batman tree ornament here. Got a little clip on the backside that hooks around the. I hate this backwards movement. Hooks around the light on the Christmas tree, and then the light shines through the bat signal
Very cool.
and illuminates itself.
But let's face it, it was all downhill once Jason went.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jason, we should have had you go last. You got to let us know when you're showing something better than us.
I'm always showing something better. But
That's
I love
true.
all of these. I love that you got a life-size Ant-Man, and it's great.
Yeah, what do we got
And he's
here?
got Ant-Man is life size, isn't it?
Pretty well.
Yeah, so this was a present for me starting my new job from a comic book buddy of mine from the
Nice.
CGC boards.
Nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'd never seen this figure before, which is awesome.
Well, that's Thanos, in case you didn't know.
I didn't. I'm really glad you told me.
Oh, you're welcome, buddy.
I would have had no clue.
Cool. Nice. Good stuff. Good stuff. Anybody else?
I got
David?
one.
Oh, Emma's got one?
I've got Batman Noel from Lee Bermejo. Best artist to draw Batman, I think, with the best Christmas story, Christmas Carol, on the backdrop of Batman with all of his friends and enemies. It's probably Lee's, could be his best work as Batman, depending on how you feel about some of his stuff. But if you haven't read Batman Noel, I highly recommend it. So, my favorite, one of the only Christmas comics that I can really think of. Chris has got one there with Batman and Catwoman now.
Right.
This is one of my faves all around, aside from it being just a great Christmas book as well.
Need to read that.
Very nice.
So, is that a Batman themed elf on the shelf that's up there too?
It's just a regular elf on the shelf that made its way into the room today.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
Love it.
Have any of you read the Naughty List?
Yes.
What do you think of the whole run? I haven't read it yet.
I read the first issue and then didn't pick it up because I wasn't real. It wasn't for me.
I liked the first couple of issues, and then I don't know what it just got very repetitive. I felt like it. I don't know. It lost me a little bit toward the end. I ended up reading the whole thing, but I think I rushed through the end because I just didn't. I don't know. It just felt much like the first and the second issue. I couldn't even tell you how it ended. Yeah.
Me either.
Yeah. Did you finish it, Jim?
No, I haven't even started it. I've read the first issue in floppies and then traded with it.
Yeah.
So is everybody?
Oh, yes. Wow.
David's back.
Oh, David had one still.
There he goes.
Oh man.
I was searching something here. I wasn't prepared on this one. What can I pull out? I just grabbed one of my boxes next to me. I had like either Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or but then I remember Chris was talking about Wizard. I got my Wizard with. I still got the Youngblood card in here.
Oh,
And look at that! I haven't even read it. My boy Rob Linesfield interview.
There we go.
I was really hoping that it was the Christmas issue, but way to ruin it.
Yeah, sorry, that's all I could get.
That
Lionsfield.
was the you show me yours and I'll show you mine. And let me just say thank you, David, for making it clear that you've never watched our show before.
Sorry.
That was the first time you've seen that segment. I appreciate that.
Did Chris go?
Did Chris have something?
Oh.
No, I didn't have anything.
No, Chris didn't have
I have
anything.
nothing holiday
Oh,
themed.
Evan.
His
Unless I
face.
just pick something off the desk, but it's not holiday themed.
Cool.
All right.
It doesn't have to be holiday themed, but that's all right.
I didn't use holiday themed. I just used what was sitting on my desk. I always have nerd stuff sitting here.
That's all my desk
that's
is
gonna-
now is pops and stuff.
That's going to take us into our lists. And before we start, and let me go over what we did. Everybody sent me and Jim a list, and I went through and sorted them. Everybody sent top 10. So 10th place got on their list got 1 point, all the way up to 10 points for the number one on their list. And then anything that was on more than one list got extra points. So if it's on two lists, it got 2 extra points. If it's on 3 lists, it got 3 extra points, etc. And that's the way we did it. So it worked out to give us a pretty good top 10, in my opinion. But before we get to the actual top 10, there's a few that didn't make the top 10 that I want to talk about before we get to it. One of them, I mentioned Community earlier. Abed's Uncontrollable Christmas. Jason had that on his list. Just a great episode. Season 1, right? I believe it's season 1.
I think so, yeah.
With that episode, that's one where you kind of figured out that, hey, Community is going to be doing some strange stuff on their show. Yeah, tell me what you liked about it, Jason.
Everything. It's just claymation, there's so many great old animated movies, Rudolph and Frosty and everything.
Yeah.
It goes for that theme and plays with the characters well, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. Songs, which you don't expect.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since I've seen that episode.
It's a good one though.
It is.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, really good, really good. The second episode I've got on here that we'll talk about just real quickly, Ted Lasso, Carol of the Bells. That wasn't on anybody's list other than mine, I think. And I mentioned it to Jim, and he said, well, we haven't really had a chance to watch it a whole lot, so that's probably why it's not some favorites on some people's lists. But the show is just great, and that episode just encompasses what those two characters, especially Ted himself, is all about. So definitely.
What season is that in?
Season 1.
That means I've watched it and I just don't remember.
Yeah. That's one where him and the, what's her name, the boss, go around handing out.
No, that was season 2, wasn't it?
Season 2, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Season 2.
That's
Whatever.
Yeah, because there was a bonus episode that they bought after they filmed everything.
Yes.
That and the beard episode.
Yeah, that and the beard episode.
Oh, the beard episode's the best. There's
I love that episode.
No, I like the Christmas episode better.
Beard
I
episode.
don't like
so
the
weird.
ending of it.
They're all good. They are.
And then the last one I'm going to talk about before we get to the list. This was on Chris Evans' list. 8-Bit Christmas. Didn't make the top 10 overall. It was only on his list. I'd never seen it, and I sat down and watched it 3 nights ago. And by next year, I think this would definitely make my top 10. Just a great movie. If you haven't seen it, man, the Neil Patrick Harris is fantastic. The nostalgia. This, honestly, it could have been me in this movie. We had one kid in our neighborhood who had a
You can't even
Nintendo.
do a live show well.
But then nobody would watch it, Steve.
That's true. we had one kid in our neighborhood who had a Nintendo, and nobody really even liked them. We ended up liking them later down the road, but we were like 12 at the time. But everybody would try and be friends with them so we could go play their Nintendo, and until we got our own. And the only game they had was Paperboy, which is the game they showed on the movie, and it just brought back so much. And it's just a good family movie. I mean, it's has anybody else seen it other than me and Chris? Oh man, it's on Netflix, I believe.
HBO Max.
Whatever that is.
New.
HBO Max. There you go.
HBO.
Came out like less than a month ago, right?
No, it came out last year, but it
Okay.
came out pretty deep into December, I think.
Okay, go watch it. It's fun. It's I mean, it's almost like you take Stand By Me and you cross it with Christmas Story, and
Oh shoot!
Yeah, that's a good way to compare it because it's a lot like A Christmas Story, though. You just swap out the BB gun for a Nintendo.
yeah,
It follows the same kind of story. It's really fun. Steve Zahn is in it, who's always great. I don't know the name of the kid, so let's call him Kid Number One. He's good in it.
yeah.
Neil
Well,
Patrick
kid
Harris
number one.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris is always great. It's just fun. And
It
it
looks
hits you in
fun.
the feels, they say.
It
That's what
does.
the kids say.
It's a good Christmas movie.
I like Kid Number One and Back to the Future.
Kid Number One is always good.
For sure. For
He was
sure.
nominated for an Oscar, I believe.
That was Kid Number 3.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Clearly the best.
Takes us to our top 10.
Hold
Top
on.
10.
Is Eyes Wide Shut literally on
Yeah,
Steven's top
yeah.
10?
I need to
I
know
saw
also.
that.
We got
The names on that.
Those were
screen
shows that are
scary.
not. Those are names that are not in the top 10, but those were names that were on other people's lists.
Oh,
On this panel,
Yes, on this channel.
Who
Jeez,
put
Dave.
Eyes Wide Shut?
David.
Me.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Nah, it wasn't me.
Love that movie.
I haven't seen it.
It's great.
Oh.
Fantastic.
So number 10.
10.
I guess I don't need to say it if that says it, do I? That's kind of a little redundant. I forgot that I put the noise in there. There we go. Number 10 was Elf from 2003, and this made 5 lists. It was low on those lists, but it made 5 separate lists, and it climbs into the top 10. Of course, Will Ferrell. And which of you had this on your lists?
Somewhere on there, yeah.
I don't even remember what.
Yeah, it was
You
number
don't
7
remember?
for me.
Yeah, so feel free to, if it was on your list, feel free to talk about it. I mean, what is it you like about the movie? I'm not a Will Ferrell fan, so it wasn't on my list, but I can see why Will Ferrell fans would like it.
Smiling was my favorite.
Smiling.
I'd say it's a fun Christmas movie. And I like
Yeah.
it.
I think it is too.
You got James Caan, Will Ferrell. I enjoy Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Zoe Deschanel's in it. It's just a good time. The only thing that kept it from being in a better spot on my list is I don't like the ending with this because I hate when people spontaneously sing and things.
I agree. Yeah.
That took it down quite a few notches for me.
But that's the best way to spread holiday cheer.
Yeah, I guess. But
We should
Sing
turn this
it
live
loud
chat
for all to
into
hear.
a song.
I'm out,
It's
guys.
freaking-
I will see y'all later.
Chris,
So-
you start.
So
No.
funny enough, Jason, my fiance is a teacher, and she had to go to a different hallway to sub for a teacher that was out. She gets over there, and the door's locked. So she's standing out there waiting. And she finally looks at him. She's like, all right, why don't all of y'all just come over to my hallway and we'll go to my classroom and we'll just do it there. It'll just be a fun class for y'all. And they're like, okay. Well, she teaches at a school that's pretty rough. So they're walking down the hallway and assistant principal sees her and says, what are y'all doing? She's like, oh, we're going to my classroom because I'm subbing. She goes, okay, why are they listening so well? She's like, at first I thought that y'all were like going around to start Christmas caroling, and as soon as the assistant principal said it, like 4 of the kids just in unison started singing Christmas carols.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Like
Is that on TikTok?
No,
I'm just kidding.
no, the only thing
It's
on TikTok is the 1 versus 50 riot. That was on TikTok.
I don't know that one. Is that a Netflix show?
Sure.
Okay. Nice. So Elf is coming in strong at number 10.
What's the best part of Elf?
Yeah, what's your favorite part? Whoever put it on their list.
I love the Tyrion Lannister moment.
Oh yeah, you're an angry elf.
That's a good one.
It's just such a good feel. It's a great feel-good movie. I think for me, my favorite part, I think, is the. Is it Zoe, or she's singing in the
Shower.
in the shower, and
Wrong person, Steve.
No, that was on purpose.
"Baby It's Cold Outside," which is my wife's favorite Christmas song. So I don't know. I have some kind of weird attachment to the
Women shouting.
that scene and the song, and even though it's not my
It's
wife.
one of those weird movies that when it's on, it doesn't matter where you join in.
Hmm
It's still enjoyable to watch, even though you know what's coming.
Hmm.
Exactly. Yeah.
I can almost watch that movie any time of year too.
I can
Yes.
too.
Yeah.
So it's not a Christmas movie.
No, sorry.
And
Not again.
Mimi,
I think
and
my
Mimi's
favorite
a
part.
huge elf fan.
I think my favorite part is when he meets his father for the first time and he's singing "I Love You." I just think that's hilarious.
Yeah. The spaghetti with the syrup.
Spaghetti with syrup and
The gumdrops.
and marshmallow,
Yeah.
gumdrops and everything.
It's funny you mentioned that song, Chris, because
Food
on the
groups
news
are all
this morning they were
sugar.
talking about the 2 least favorite Christmas songs that were voted on a nationwide poll, and one of them was that one, and one of them was Santa Baby. Those were the 2 least favorite
Really?
Christmas songs ever.
Well, they're
Maybe It's
wrong.
Cold Outside. and
Yeah,
Santa
they
Baby.
are dead wrong.
Yeah.
But see,
Well-
weren't those 2 songs when they were like doing the whole cancel thing? Because like I
Yeah,
want to
maybe
say
it's
it
called
wasn't
was.
No, no.
the Me Too with
Yeah.
which was it again? Not Baby It's Cold Outside,
Yeah.
but the other one.
It is, baby. It's
one.
cold outside.
Yeah,
Maybe
because
it's
she
Cold
wants to
Outside.
leave.
Is that-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, maybe that's the one.
Save the controversy for your
That was-
show, David. Come on.
Yeah, dude.
So,
Come on, man.
I like those songs, man. I dig them, man. I thought they're classics. And
I heard that Leinfeld
unfortunately-
doesn't like them.
I can bring my boy into this, man.
The band She and Him covers that song. They've got a music video, and it's got Zoe Deschanel.
Sorry. I always get to take it off a loop. Stupid. Anyway, somebody was saying something. I got distracted.
I was just saying that Zoe Deschanel is in a band called She and Him, and they cover Baby It's Cold Outside. There's a great music video for it, and
Oh, nice.
she, it's a little bit different when it's a girl singing it as opposed to an old guy to a young girl.
Right.
Much less
Yeah.
creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fun.
Cool. Nice. Anybody have anything else to say about our number 10 elf? All right.
Number 9.
9 from 1994 made 3 separate lists, and this was the Santa Claus. The Santa Claus, of course, starring Tim Allen and boy number 1, right? Boy number 1.
Mhm.
That's my favorite boy number 1. I'm guessing this was on, I don't
That's
remember,
what she
Jim, your
said?
list?
On my list.
On your list? Who else had it? Those the 2 Chris's. 2 Chris's.
It was on mine, but then I realized I forgot something, so I took
Yeah,
that
I
one
remember that
off.
part. Yeah.
You took the wrong one off.
Mm.
So, what are your thoughts
I
on,
didn't make this list.
on the Santa Claus?
What's that?
What are your thoughts on the Santa Claus? What's your favorite parts?
I
What do you
think
like
it's
about it?
clever. You know,
Mhm.
the whole Claus thing was well played.
I feel like it's become like, at least in our household, it's like the definitive Santa Claus origin, or the modern Santa Claus origin story, and yeah, it's just a great go-to. I think one is the best of the group. Man, what is this, man? What is this?
Feels like at the Oscars when they want you to.
I was trying to make the moment like
Playing you
sentimental.
off, Chris.
I think that's what he's doing, Emmett.
I'm really not.
I'm pretty sure.
Sorry.
You know, you didn't see the red hook come behind you.
It was almost there.
Anyway, the origin story.
It's great. Yeah.
I like that they took what seemed to be a generally unpleasant individual and made him the spirit of, what's supposed to be the happiest season.
You mean in the movie Scott Calvin, or are you talking Tim Allen?
Yep.
Okay.
No, Scott Calvin. No, I like Tim Allen.
Just
I think Tim Allen's a good actor. So
Agreed. Yeah.
I've got a lot of nostalgia for this one. I remember seeing it in the theater and being really excited because I knew Tim Allen from Home Improvement, which I loved at the time. And then it's a Christmas movie. It was it's a fun movie. And I agree with Chris. It's like this, for me, it is like the standard, this is Santa Claus. This is how it works. And also, it's funny how they cover what's a gruesome event with joy. The man dies. He falls out of the roof and he's dead. But hey, let's laugh about it and look at this snow globe. You can see your father.
I don't remember anything about that movie.
and don't worry, your dad's going to suffer the same fate.
Right. This is your dad's future, but look at the globe, buddy. Merry Christmas. I like it.
So, has anybody watched the Santa Clauses?
No, been meaning to, but haven't yet.
Yeah, it's on the list for me to watch just because it needs
I don't know
to
if
be
I've
watched.
seen the third movie.
I like the third one. It's got Martin Short in it.
Yeah, he's Jack Frost, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Steve loves Martin Short.
Yeah. I love him in. Yeah.
Only Murders.
Only Murders.
Yeah, Only Murders. I never could be around or like watch anything he did. It just like embarrassed me to watch him. But yeah, Only Murders is just fantastic, and it's completely changed my mind about him. So yeah, I like that movie too. It's definitely a good one. I haven't seen the series either. I saw it on whatever streaming service it's on a couple days ago, and seems to be getting pretty good feedback. So we'll see how it goes. So that was the number 9.
Number 8.
Number 8, Muppet Christmas Carol, 1992. This made 2 lists only, but it was number 1 on both lists. And one of those lists was mine,
All right.
and the other was
Emmett.
Nice.
It's a good one. Yeah.
I love it.
That is a
I
good
love. It's my favorite version of the Christmas Carol by a long ways. It's not even really close for me.
All right.
I love the music, the take on Tiny Tim. Yeah, I just
Who took on Tiny Tim?
Kermit's son was. I don't even remember the Muppet's name.
The Tadpole?
A little older than a tadpole. Jesus.
Yeah. So, what do you like about it, Emmett?
I like you saying the music, but Michael Caine dancing with the nightcap on and in his robes is glorious. You had mentioned the Tiny Tim stuff, the Kermit song that he sings with his son. There's only one more Sleep Till Christmas. That's one of my favorites. And it is, like I said when I was talking about Noel, the Christmas Carol is my favorite Christmas story, and then just blending it into the Muppets, who are also my favorites. And Rizzo and Gonzo narrating it, I think is very good. There's a lot to like about it.
Yeah.
I'm surprised it was only on 2 of our lists too. That's surprising to me.
I mean, how can you pass up cheeses for the Mises? One of the greatest lines ever in any movie.
Anybody else here besides me not seen this?
I don't think I have. I mean, I've seen a couple of the Muppet movies, but I don't think I saw the Christmas one.
I tried to watch
You're the only one, Jim.
last year with my kids, and they're just a little too young for it at that time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good. Really good. Like I said, my favorite take, and there's so many takes of Christmas Carol out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's far less scary than the. I couldn't imagine watching one of the original ones as a kid and seeing the ghosts.
What's the Matthew McConaughey take on?
The what?
The girlfriend's. I don't know. He did a girlfriend.
There's a girlfriend's past.
Yeah.
That's my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
I like Scrooge.
Yeah, Scrooge. I saw that in theater, so I enjoyed that. Not that.
Number 7.
Man, Steve. Brutal, man.
I know, man.
Shut up, Grabs.
We gotta move on. Play the music.
Moving on.
We don't have to move on. We're only at
I'm lucky there's 8 other people here because I'm going to leave soon.
Play the music.
That's right. How many thumbs down do we have? If we don't have 2, I'm upset. Number 7, Charlie Brown Christmas, 1965. Winner of Best Children's Program Primetime Emmy, and it made 4 lists. I was surprised it only made 4 lists. It was definitely on mine. Who else had it? Yeah,
I think.
Brian, Jason, and Chris Garcia had it. Yeah. Man, just love it.
Yeah, me too.
My favorite part of the whole thing is the Christmas tree.
Mm-hmm.
My mother actually had one that she left out on her counter. That was her Charlie Brown Christmas tree that she used whenever she didn't want to put up a real tree. So, like, that was the reason that made my list, is because that was one of my mother's favorites. We had to watch it every year.
Yeah, the music's so good.
Yeah, the music's
It's a classic.
Yeah.
It spawned the term Charlie Brown Christmas tree. I mean,
Yeah, everybody knows what that is because of that show.
everybody knows what that is. So, but I guess if you're not a Peanuts fan, it may not be your thing. Yeah.
Now the music is just so good. I can't hear, like, what is it, Greensleeves, and not think of it, and go anywhere. Those songs, they come on, and I just feel Christmassy. That's all I want to listen to at Christmas time.
Yeah.
Agreed. Yeah.
I got like a 4-disc set of it. I listen to it anytime, and it's just short, right? So it's quick, easy, cute.
I just want to pull the football out from in front of somebody every time I see a football.
We're Charlie Brown, man.
I want to let them kick it.
Yeah.
It's Christmas. Let them kick it.
That's right. That's the difference between a hero and a villain, Thanos.
That's exactly right. I just want to watch the world burn.
I find it odd that music and Christmas music in a Christmas movie is a positive for the Christmas movie. I can just turn on the radio and have a Christmas music 24/7.
You could also turn on.
Turn
on John Williams on Alexa every day too, but it's great to see it in the movie. It's great to see it in the movie, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's definitely some songs that you associate with these movies. You know, I think Charlie Brown's definitely one of the. What's the? I don't want to spoil what might be on the list here, but you don't have to confirm or deny, Steve. But Home Alone, you know that little song at the beginning, the very eerie kind of. Yes, who's doing that? Perfect.
We just watched Home Alone 2.
Yeah,
on here, so I'm all about it.
But that's what song is that?
You're right. It is eerie.
It is eerie, but I believe there's a full Christmas song with that, that portion of the song.
Is it Carol of the Bells?
Is it? It's not. Yeah, it's not Carol of the Bells.
Star of Bethlehem.
Oh yeah.
But when you hear it, you just know, like, this is Home Alone. Like, this is, and I think a lot of these, like, to Jim's question, and I'm sorry you were deprived of that, Jim. But but no, like, I think that's
Is it somewhere in my memory?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's see.
Yeah, just looked it up. That's what
John Williams somewhere in my memory.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it could be a whole show right there. Music and
So the
that happens in the
That's
6th
on
hour
home.
of the show. We talk about our top 10 Christmas songs.
that one song at Home Alone that you think about all the time that you can't remember.
Oh, now we're going to get a.
Oh, there you go.
Now Jim's going to get the notification.
yeah, I'll turn it off.
I would put my phone up. So,
Stick that there in the background.
Nice.
There you go.
Cool. Yeah. So yeah, Charlie Brown Christmas is definitely one of my favorites. I don't remember where it was on my list, but it was up there pretty
it's
good.
a great movie. Yeah.
Number 2 for
I'm not going
me.
to deny that.
Great movie.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, who's talking next so we can cut another person off? Chris, you want to
You.
Me? Okay, I'll do it. Okay, Steve, go ahead. So what I
Number 6.
I was waiting for it while you were asking the question. I was like,
Number 6 made 3 lists, 2 number 1s, and it is A Christmas Story.
Yes.
A Christmas Story.
Yes. All right. Finally, one on my list.
All right. Tell us
That's a
about
great
it.
movie. Man,
It's the best movie, Christmas movie.
I mean, what other movie has like a repeat on like 5 different channels every Christmas? Like, I mean, hey, it's showing right. Like I saw it the other day. It was on like almost repeat.
And I can't even name one song in that movie.
Are there songs in that movie?
I don't
I
think
like-
so.
I-
I don't think there are.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah,
Besides
there's not
them
a lot.
singing
Yeah,
in the
there's not a lot
backseat,
of
picking up
singing.
the Christmas tree.
Oh, you know what? When they're having their Chinese meal, when their turkey gets eaten by the dogs, they start singing in there.
Yeah.
That's right.
Even the credits roll. No music.
And then,
So this is
oh,
another one
fudge.
like Charlie Brown was with the Charlie Brown Christmas tree. You know, we have the lamp from A Christmas Story, which has become an iconic pop
Classic.
culture
Yep.
thing that people actually buy and put in their houses simply because of this movie. So
Who even says fragile anymore? No one says fragile. It's fragile.
Rajili. It's Rajili. Everybody knows that.
Yeah. You know, everything's a major award. There's no minor awards anymore.
Yeah, that's a great one.
It's
I mean,
fantastic.
but was that at least on every? How many people had that on the list? Only
3.
Like
I know,
at
I was-
all?
3. You
I
two had
said
number
the
1,
best
and then
when I saw
somebody
that.
else had it like number 9, I think. Who was the third person?
Wow.
Mine was number
Man.
10.
Number 10.
Well,
There you
at
go.
least it's on the list, man. But yeah, it's got to be there. That's great.
But
Yeah.
9 and 10 were literally because they were my mom's favorites. So I've watched enough of Christmas Story that I didn't want to have it in my top 10 for just me.
Amen.
But see, part of the reason I had it on the list is because I know whether I choose to watch it like actively or it just is on, I end up watching A Christmas Story every Christmas.
I end
Yeah.
up changing the channel.
I watch it every
What?
Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Well, they usually run it for 24 hours on TBS, I think, right?
And see, that's one of those. It's one
Like
of
a
those
week
movies
straight,
that.
though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but at least at one point during that week, if it's on, like it's kind of catchy. You end up watching at least some of it.
It's a good movie. It's got good moments. Like I always recall the leg lamp, and I'm not surprised at all, Pouch, that is on your list. I bet you somewhere in your kid mind that you saw that, and now it's stuck with you.
Maybe it's because I saw it when I was a kid, and that's
Maybe.
why I am the way I am.
That's probably right.
Maybe.
Then of course the BB gun, the tongue on the ice pool.
See, yeah.
The best part of that movie is when he blames the other kid for teaching him the curse word, and then you hear his mom go after him on the phone.
Yeah, that is
Yeah,
good.
like you hear like a neighbor die on the movie. That's
But
crazy.
all of those things, for whatever reason, don't make me feel anything about Christmas. Like it's a cool movie, but it just I don't feel like it's not a very Christmassy movie, which is why it's not a.
But on the other hand,
how is that not a Christmas movie? Like the whole thing is about Christmas.
And it's around Christmas. I don't know.
The entire thing is about getting a present for Christmas.
I don't know. It didn't feel like Christmas in the Garcia household. Right?
I don't think it's a sad movie or something.
Maybe maybe it's because a little dated on that one. And it's funny because I remember watching this when I was a kid, and my mom actually dropped me and my younger cousin off as she went shopping in the mall. And I'm thinking back because it's funny because this day and age you would never do that because when I was a kid and watching this, God, I don't remember how old I was, but I 10, 12 ish. And I remember I didn't really care for it back then. I remember not really liking it as a child, but as I got older and watched it, and now I love it. I love that movie.
I love it too.
I mean, I don't dislike it. I mean, there's like 400 Christmas movies out there, and it's probably like number 14 or 15, so that's pretty good for me.
I just want to poke it. I want to poke it. The first movie you have on the list. I just want to poke at you, man.
Chris is like, dude, that's not even a Christmas movie.
That's right. That's right. Chris is, bringing the negative. Way to go,
all right,
Chris.
Scrooge.
No,
not a negative. It's a good movie.
I know.
Humbug.
Not for Christmas.
Anybody else have anything else to say about A Christmas Story?
Not for Christmas. It's called A Christmas Story.
I don't like watching it at Christmas. I can't even watch it anymore. They just show it too much. I'm like, is the ratings on this thing good? Why do they keep doing this over and over every year?
Because they all need paychecks.
I guess date for David. Yeah.
They want their paychecks. I mean, that's all syndicate. They get the royalties check for that. I mean, it might be 35 cents, but hey, they can call somebody that cares if they find a PayPal.
Like they choose.
Who's they?
Controversy. Controversy hits midlife crisis.
Man.
Controversy
over Christmas Story.
It doesn't even go here.
Yeah.
I was waiting for David to go, Raza frackin' zackin' wreckin' zackin' beckin'.
That takes us. We're gonna move along now.
High five!
We're gonna take us to our top five on a list, and number 5 was on 3 lists, nominated for 3 Oscars from 2004. Polar Express. Polar Express.
Never seen that one.
I believe it was on my
list. Is that even about Christmas?
Absolutely.
It's about a train getting ran.
Yeah.
Wow.
Transportation.
Yeah.
Way to go.
Was that Unstoppable? Was that movie?
Do that again for David.
You mean Unbreakable?
There you go.
No, well, that was a movie too. But was that the movie when
It was a movie
stop
too.
the train?
Are we just naming random movies now?
Speed 2?
Bullet Train?
On a boat?
Yeah.
Speed? Keanu Reeves?
Yeah, it's that train movie in the winter.
Polar Express. It's the visuals on this movie, the animation is so good. Tom Hanks, voicing it. I just love. I mean, I like him in anything, pretty much.
Have you seen the new Pinocchio?
What's that?
Yes, and I thought it was good.
I haven't seen it. So who else had it on their list other than me? Yeah, Chris. So tell me your thoughts on it, Chris.
Man, Polar Express. Has anybody? I know, Jason. You said you haven't seen it, correct? I really believe that if you go watch it, Jason, it's going to be on your. It would be on your top 10, man, because it's. I noticed a theme in all the movies that I pick for the most part, and I think for the most part, everybody on this panel, right? It's nostalgia. There's something about Christmas, right? There's that spirit of Christmas, and I think this movie, Polar Express, captures that. But if your eyes don't get watery at the end of that film, something wrong with you. I don't know, Steve. I can tell you didn't. You're about to. But man, it's everything. It's this little boy, and he's not. He's on the verge of not believing in Santa Claus anymore, and believing in Christmas, and he goes on this journey where at the end he still keeps that faith and keeps that belief in the holiday spirit alive. And
Spoiler.
That's that same story as the Santa Claus.
Not exactly.
No. It's
without the Santa death.
It's so good, man. It's just heartfelt. That is my number. That was my number 2 on my list.
Yeah.
So it's up there for me.
It was up there on mine too. I would say it might be a little scary in spot for young kids. Just a couple little spots, but
yeah.
It was my number 4.
Nice.
And it's for the exact same reason that Chris said. It's just the feeling that's in there. I mean, it helps that Tom Hanks is there, but the whole movie from beginning to end, that it makes you want to believe in the spirit of Christmas.
Yes, I do. When I'm done with that, I truly believe. I'm like, holy crap, I believe in Santa.
Yeah.
That would have been my 11. I also really like the book. It might be my favorite Christmas book. So I'm a sucker for the loss of innocence in growing up. Like Stand By Me is one of my favorite films. Like growing old sucks, but being a kid and having the innocence and the belief, it does. I agree with Chris. It actually does. It makes me tear up at the end as well. You know, and especially when you're someone with young kids. Like, you know, I joke about my kids not believing in Santa. My daughter is old now, and she does not, but my son is 7. I'm like, I joke it's a pain in the ass. Like, that's, is a pain in the ass all the time. But, you know, it's just it's kind of a cool thing still. And by the time when he's not old enough, it'll be a different feeling for me as a dad, like having a son that doesn't believe anymore. So it's an interesting feeling as a father, for sure.
Yeah.
I would love I'd love for Emmett to move that Polar Express just up while we're here live, if you don't mind, because you talking about it. I mean,
I have to go get it from my son's room.
I'm just messing with you, man. But it's such a good movie. Yeah,
definitely closer to Shawshank than Battleship. That's for sure.
I agree.
Yeah,
close though. I agree, Grab. It's close. You know, one Rihanna line away from being just that much more above.
I don't know. I'll have to watch it first.
You're gonna love it, Jim.
Yeah, same.
I honestly think you'll like it, Jim.
Oh, I have no doubt.
Like you'll watch it in 3. You know, you'll watch it in 3 segments because you won't be able to make it all the way through. But by the time you catch the final third part of it, you're going to. If it's not number 1,
because I forget the first half.
Is that because it's nap time for him, or is it time for pudding?
It's time for pudding. I don't get that joke. Oh, because he's old. I see. Now, I thought old people like soup.
Well, I mean, anything.
Number 4.
This is now my favorite thing ever.
Number 4.
Just go to 3. Cut everybody
out. Number 4, directed by Frank Capra, 1946, nominated for Best Picture, Best Actor, Best Director, winner of Best Director Golden Globe, made 2 lists, one number 1, It's a Wonderful Life. This was on my list, and this was on, who else's list? David's list.
Oh,
Chris had it too?
It's on my list. Yeah, it's my number 1.
So
yeah, 50 list. It's on mine too.
Yeah.
Why did I put... Let me look at that again.
I don't think Steve actually even read the lists.
He just
made up his own list.
Anyway, however many it made.
I'm going to give you my list, and if you guys watched it, just raise your hand.
That's actually a good method.
That might be my favorite thing you've ever said.
Oh, David.
Merry Christmas. Ho, 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 ho.
Why'd you have it on your list, Steve?
Oh, it's just, I mean, it's classic. It's Jimmy Stewart. You know, I was thinking about this the other day. Jimmy Stewart, the way he plays it is he's very frantic. He's like, I could see like Nick Cage playing it, but I think better would have been William Shatner like 20 years ago doing a remake of it.
It's already long enough.
It's a wonderful
Yeah.
life.
I'm not saying it's not a good movie. I'm just saying it's really long.
It is long.
Just just for I mean, to see what it's like to not be there if you're feeling like you shouldn't be there, and seeing how important everybody actually is, how much they affect other people when they don't even realize it. I think that's what I really like about it.
I've
That's
been
not even
divorced.
about
I
Christmas.
already feel that.
Yeah.
See, when I watched it for the first time, and I'd say maybe it was about 10 years ago, I watched it pretty late in life, I guess. So I had never seen it earlier when I was young. I guess mainly because it is kind of an older movie. And I never really understood what it was about, what the message was, or what the story was, characters or anything. But when I finally sat down and watched it, it just has a great meaning. And the person that made me watch it, I remember that they're like, yeah, I have to watch this every year at Christmas. And I remember I was like, oh, okay, all right. I'll watch it with you. No big deal. But then when I finally watched it, I was like, wow, this is a good movie. It has a great message. The whole, in the beginning, it's kind of interesting and it's kind of weird. And I remember he gets like slapped and I was like, dang, that's hardcore. And the ear's all bleeding. And, but towards the end, the whole thing is like how you can lose everything and, just be thankful for what you have and that things just work out. And, even though you may want, what's way up here, if you don't get it, that doesn't mean, you've lost everything. You still have what's right in front of you. And that's what's important. So it's just one of those messages like, wow, I do value everything I have. And even though I don't have all the other things that maybe some other people have, you know what? I'm rich because this is what I have. And I don't know. I always thought that was a great movie though.
It's nice when a movie makes you contemplate your own life and not your own life, but makes you appreciate what you have.
Right.
A movie that does that is doing something right.
Well said.
Yep, and that's the whole story of that movie is that he felt he lost everything. He was ready to end it, and then he realized he got back what he had, and then he valued it so much, and then everything just worked out for him. And it's just a good story. It is a little long, but it just at the end it makes.
And that's
it
my
worthwhile.
issue with it. Is I watched it for the first time with my girlfriend at the time, now wife, and my daughter. And I'm the only one that made it through the movie. So that's probably why it's not great on my ranking list. That wasn't a complete sentence at all.
Have you rewatched it, Jim, with your wife?
No.
Maybe doing that might give you a little better taste, and I don't know.
She didn't make it through it the first time.
No.
So just because we got married, at least she's gonna like it.
You gotta start halfway in. If you just start halfway in, it's the second half of that movie.
You gotta you gotta do it with you cannot be tired. You gotta have a snack so you can have something keeping you moving a little bit. But man, everything David said, and just
and I don't disagree with that. It's a great movie. I just find it really long.
Yeah,
which I have a hard time with long movies. So.
Speaking of which, did you know the Batman's on HBO Max? Anything else about It's a Wonderful Life?
That's funny you mentioned Nick Cage, because on my list I had The Family Man, which is kind of a mix of Wonderful Life and Christmas Carol together. So I thought that was kind of interesting.
I love that movie. I may have to watch that. I don't know if I've ever seen.
You had me at Nick Cage.
Well, it's got Tia Leone in it too. Oh yeah,
it's a good movie.
Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Tia Leone had a good 4-year run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's right.
Wayne's World, and then probably Family Man, and that was pretty much about it, right?
No, she was in Jurassic Park
Bad
3.
Boys. She was in Bad
Something.
Boys.
Yeah. See, didn't she marry your guy from X Files, David? Whatever his name-
Duchovny.
Yeah.
That I
When you
think.
say your guy, who are you speaking to?
I'm sorry. Yeah, Chris.
Oh,
Yeah.
Which one?
'Cause he loves X Files.
gotcha.
Yeah.
I prefer David Duchovny and Red Shoe Diaries. That was much better.
Jesus.
This is a Christmas show.
Californication?
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, Emmett already dropped the F bomb earlier, so we threw that out the window.
It was in a Christmas sense, though. I was talking about an elf. It's like the way the Christmas story, you know? It's good. It's happening at Christmas. It's got Christmas in the title. Sure, why not?
Nice. Yeah. So, all right.
Number 3.
We are heading towards the top here. Number 3,
What she
Chris
said.
Columbus, John Hughes, 1990, Home Alone. This made 5
Yes.
separate lists. Yeah, talk about it. Whoever wants to talk about it. Home Alone. And go.
But not all at once.
Yeah. Home Alone's great, man. Who can't watch Home Alone and enjoy that? And the fact that everything happened during Christmas, and even all his, you know, his, what did he do at the end? All the traps that he makes. There you go. I'm sorry, I'm not even drinking. All the traps. He's got the broken Christmas lights that he steps on, and I don't know. It's a fun movie. It's a fun movie. It happens during Christmas, so it feels Christmassy. You got Christmas, stuff going on in the background. And Home Alone 2. Both of those movies are great. I enjoy those.
Yeah, I mean, I like them both too. I'm a fan. Now, once they change, as much as I'm not a fan of Macaulay Culkin's, once they changed the actor, the movie just was not good. But the first two were.
Kid number 4 was just the worst.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
bad. So who else had
I think I like the most is that I understand the parents with having that many damn children.
Yeah.
And it's funny how that changes because when you're a kid, you're looking at it more in the like you relate to the Macaulay Culkin character, and then as you get older, you're like, it's funny how that changes. You start looking at it from the parent perspective. Like
You're thinking as a kid, you're like, oh man, I want to be able to do that. I want to be able to make traps and stuff and have people fall through the floor at my house and
go to the store by myself
and not get in trouble for it.
Yeah,
filthy animals.
But
eventually,
we're all lucky. We'll be the old guy next door.
Right?
Yeah.
And that
With the
poor
shovel.
kid, if I'm the
Final
old guy next
stage.
door, that kid's just going to end up getting slaughtered. Sorry.
Oh my.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
It's so good, and it is. It's funny. You got a lot of comedy, a lot of humor in it, but at the same time, you also have the story of kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, but not quite as deep. But where he's like, I don't want anything to do with my parents. I hate you, you know. And then by the end, he realizes, hey, I'm a kid, and I need my parents. I need my family, especially at Christmas time. And his mother walks in the door, and that moment there, I mean, you can't help but even when I was a kid, when I watch it now, it's that your heart just, it's great, man. It's what you feel when you see your mom, and it's perfect.
Because you're right, and they bring it all back to a Christmas feel. And I want to say the second one, actually, if I remember right, they kind of do it even better. You got the lady out in the Central Park with the turtle doves.
Yeah,
he's trying to like prevent them from stealing all the toys from the Christmas store
donation bucket.
So there you go.
Yeah,
it was a good Christmas movie. I enjoyed those. Real
I
good.
watched it for the first time since it first came out a couple of years ago, and I was really impressed with it, especially the beginning, the whole setup, all the family members, having all the different types of people, the interactions. There's like little half conversations going on. Just the little details like that really help build that sort of world and makes it feel like family and gives it that importance and that weight. So when they are gone, avoid
I feel
is
like
felt.
his reliance on wanting his parents there in the first one is more important than on the second one. The second one, he's like, dude, I got a hotel room. I got all the toys and room service and everything I need. I don't need any of that. You know, his parents coming back was not as important of a topic, in my opinion, as it was in the first one. The impact wasn't as big.
Well, the second one, he had the bird lady too. That became like his best friend.
Yeah.
Right.
I was hanging out with the bird lady for Christmas.
Hey, I get it.
I think every
independent.
movie has. There's so many Christmas movies with New York. One of these. Has anybody ever been to New York for that time of year?
No, not during that time.
No.
Yep, sure have. It was cold.
It just looks so awesome. It looks. I mean, I'm sure it's movies.
I actually went there as a kid and as an adult for two different. One is a family vacation. We went up to Niagara Falls, and then I worked for a company out of Long Island, and we'd go for their holiday party. So,
Nice.
yeah.
Cool. Nice. So.
Well, speaking of vacation, number one.
No, number 2.
Number 2.
Number 2, Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, 1993. Made 5 lists. This did not make my list. I watched it for the first time last year. Not really my thing, but I can see why people do like it who are into that sort of thing. So we will hand it over to you guys.
It's
Mini-Me. Mini-Me has been in love with that movie for years. We actually made an Oogie Boogie costume for him for Halloween about 4 years ago or so. Like burlap sack, green, glow-in-the-dark paint. I don't know. I think that the message is there that it's not cool to try and steal Santa.
Great message.
Always a great message. Yeah, always a great message.
Kidnapping? No.
Hey, you know, you can kill him and take his place. You can't kidnap him.
That's where we're gonna draw the line. Kidnapping.
Yeah, draw the line, yeah.
This made my Halloween list and my Christmas list because it works as both.
Yep.
It's just a good watch, I think, during either season.
Kaiser, it is a Christmas movie because it's called Nightmare Before Christmas and it has Santa in it.
It is not an Easter movie, though.
No, it is not an Easter movie.
Even though the Easter
that would require Santa to die in the movie and then be resurrected.
Or the Easter Bunny could take over.
For Jesus.
I mean that would be a good dinner. They could all eat the Easter Bunny.
Like Thanksgiving, you could bring it all the way to all the holidays.
There you go.
Jason, this was on your list, right?
Yes. Yeah. When I first seen it, I didn't like it. When it first came out, I thought, oh, nope, that was dumb. But then the next year, I rented it. I don't know why. And it clicked. And since then, it's just been every Christmas. It's almost every Christmas. Me and my sister will watch it. Halloween too. Like it's. But usually Christmas is the big one. Like we would watch it first thing in the morning, go through our stockings, and put it on, wait for our parents to wake
So
up.
you watch it Christmas morning?
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. No, it was just always there. And I've got so much stuff for it now, and it's got no real purpose. It's messed up, but it's fun.
Yeah. Well, if you think about it, Tim Burton's pretty genius with it because you got your movies that you watch in October for Halloween, and you got your movies that you watch in December for Christmas. And he said, "I'm just taking 3 months, and the entire season is mine."
Yep. Oh, awesome!
That's awesome.
That's cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Good little Oogie Boogie there.
See, I haven't had that moment, that click moment, like Jason said, where it like clicks, and I don't know. It's one of those ones where I hear people talk about it, and I'm like, I want to like it, but I watch it, and I don't know. I just it's not for me.
I'm with you there, Chris. It reminds me a lot of Beetlejuice for some reason, as far as
Yeah.
and that's not my favorite movie. So,
And I think I can accept Beetlejuice because I feel like it's not like wrapped in that Christmas, you know. But then this, when I watch Nightmare, it's like it just doesn't feel Christmassy to me. I don't know, but again, it's just me. I love hearing people talk about it. I've heard some very great conversations about it, and it's a
movie I feel I should love, and I try to watch it every year, and I never make it all the way through.
Yeah, it's number 3 on my list, and it's got one of the best Christmas songs ever, I think, which is "What's This." And I think what the message is to me, Chris, is the idea that Christmas can help you. It can, if you're down in the dumps, if you're not feeling well, the spirit of Christmas, the spirit of what Christmas is, can bring everyone together, and that's basically what it is. It brings Halloween Town together. Jack is way down in the dumps. He's not feeling it. He's not feeling Halloween anymore, and he finds that Christmas enlightens him. It brings him joy, and like that's for most of my Christmas movies and TV shows. That's what it is. It's the joy of Christmas. That's my thought about it, anyways.
I like that. I'm definitely willing. I go into it with an open mind, and I want to try it again. I want that clicking. I want that moment because I love when people talk about it. I'm like, man, it sounds so good. The way people see it, but I just don't see it.
And that's okay. You know, it doesn't have to be for everyone. You know, it is a weird movie. So,
I mean, I went in there like 6 times with a very closed mind. Still haven't liked it.
I believe that.
I'm starting to think you don't like movies with the word Christmas in it.
Yeah, that's
number 1.
Wow.
Yeah. WKRP in Cincinnati.
There you go.
Very observant.
Love it. But no, it's Night Before Christmas. My sister-in-law is huge into that. That's like everything to her. Everything she buys. I mean, she starts setting up. She's a Halloween person, so Christmas, her house is decorated like Halloween. So, yeah, that's her definitely her number 1 movie. I've never seen anybody that hardcore into one specific thing like she is with that, and she just loves it. If only I could feel that way about something. Well, except for my wife, of course, if you're watching. But, you know.
Good save.
Yeah, so. Did you say it was on your list, David?
No.
Number 1.
Number 1 from 1989. This movie made 7 of the 9 lists. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, that's a great one.
Number 1. Oh, well, hold on.
Nah.
My wife. She was watching.
There you go. You never know, man. You never know.
I know. I shouldn't have showed her how to get to the site. So, no. Christmas Vacation, number 1. Again, 7 of the 9 lists. Whose list did it not make?
What?
Jim and Chris.
Jim, I'm not surprised.
Extremely disappointed in both of you. Actually, I'm not really surprised.
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
Thank goodness your opinion don't matter to me.
Kaiser has no Die Hard.
Die Hard was on my list.
This was a Christmas list movie, so
it wasn't on my list.
Die Hard is during Christmas.
But yeah, Griswolds, man, you gotta love the Griswolds.
Yeah.
Great.
you
got the extended family of the Griswolds and
I really
all the
like the
craziness. So
Yep. It's not on my
Squirrel in the
list
tree.
either. I just checked.
I mean, I really like the movie.
It's not on your list either?
Nope, I thought it was.
It made 7 of them. Let me see. I swear I'm not just making this stuff up as I go along.
Check your list, Steve, just to make sure. Check your
I am
Anyone ask Steve what his favorite movie was?
I made a list. I did not check it twice, and that is my bad.
Now, admittedly, I don't recall that movie having a very well. I guess I'm trying to think of the message because when I think of the movie, I just think of the craziness that happens throughout.
The message is the Griswolds need a pool.
Let's say the message is don't mess with the Griswolds.
So it's number
Christmas
7 on
bonuses are what
Pretty
Christmas
much,
is
yeah.
about.
number 7
Yeah.
on Emmett's list. Number 1 on Adams. That's who's not here. That was missing. Okay.
2 on mine.
Number 5 on LNC Chris. Number 7 on mine. It is not on Chris Evans. It
People
is
that-
number 2 on Lassiter.
Boom.
Number 6 on Jim's.
It's on my list.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Oh, you gotta start
Yeah.
drinking, man.
It's on my list.
So it's just
And
It's on my
number-
list. It's on my list.
And it's number 4 on David's. So
There's
Yeah.
that'd be the great tag, you know. It's on my list if you were host tomorrow.
yeah. That is funny.
Now, to be fair here, I didn't put a whole lot of thought into my list. I think I told Steve that already.
Yeah.
Do you put
I mean,
a
I
lot
just-
of thought
it's
into your
because-
list?
Let your viewers know.
Yeah.
I don't really care about this show at all.
He's not lying.
Everybody's got to have their
God.
David.
Hey, David care. He cares about this,
I'm just kidding. He knows I'm giving.
right?
him.
I
Right?
do. I do.
Technically, Jim would be
Right.
Oscar. So, who's going to replace Jim?
That's right.
Come
Jim
to
would be
David.
Oscar. Who's his replace?
How do I do that?
Or-
Jim.
So that is, after the way the show started, that's perfect. Really, it couldn't have went any better.
Sorry about that, by the
Hey,
way.
we're good. We're good. But no, yeah. I mean, just the family. They're so excited about. There's a message to this. I mean, the whole thing. They're looking for the Christmas bonus and looking for the money and for stuff, and in the end, they realize that that's not what it's all about. And they.
Well,
I mean, they realize that's not what it's about because the cops are coming.
I was say, and the owner gets slapped by his wife for being a cheap bastard.
Yeah. I was gonna say, Jim, for someone who doesn't really care for the movie, you kind of know more about it than really the rest of us.
I know a lot about. I've seen the movie a lot. It's not. And
Nice.
it's on my list,
You
apparently.
just forgot to put it on your list, Jim, because you didn't care about the list.
It's on my list.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it is. He forgot he
You
put it
said
on
it wasn't, and Steve said it was. I'm
I
Yeah,
didn't
he
think it
just
was.
forgot. He forgot it was on his list.
all right. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's too good.
It's like a sleeper,
So-
just snuck in there.
Is there a better Christmas comedy though than this movie?
No,
Home Alone.
Right?
Nope.
Bad Santa.
nope.
Hmm.
Bad Santa.
Christmas Story.
Yeah, Bad Santa's good, but for different
Emmett, what's
reasons.
your
For family. Yeah.
what's your take on this?
Yeah, I love this movie. I always have. My wife and I watch it on Christmas Eve. It's hilarious. Cousin Eddie is one of the all-time great movie characters of all time. I think it's great. There's lots to like about it, and there's a small message in there, but I just find it very funny. Like, I think it's an incredibly funny movie, aside from it being a Christmas movie as well. Like, just the sheer comedy of it is just
Right.
outstanding.
I think the small message is it's okay because the shitter's full.
Merry Christmas. Where's your
Yeah.
shitter?
There you go. And you know, when you're talking about the comedy stuff, yeah, I guess what I was thinking when you were saying that is like I'm trying to remember the movie because it has been a while since I watched the whole movie. I've seen bits and pieces of it, but a lot of comedy is like revolved around Christmas stuff when they're like sledding, the lights, the tree. It's all about Christmassy things, and they're just making fun or having fun doing stuff for crazy
they took
stuff.
the stuff that
Shines up the little seat to go sledding.
Yeah.
basically it takes all the little annoying things that we deal with about Christmas, and it just makes them huge.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
The
having
lights.
to sort the lights, having
Yeah.
the family that you don't want to be spending time with show up at your door, you know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
They
Ran off
just
the road
takes
by
everything and
a
ramps it way up.
Mack truck.
Yeah,
The annoying.
Your,
ramps it way up.
your viewer Elaine is also in that movie.
Yes.
She is, yes, she is. She came.
The neighbor, right?
She said?
Yeah. Who's her husband? It's
Todd.
plays her-
Todd.
I just remember his name on screen.
Guy number 4.
guy number 4. Yeah. Yeah, it was so funny, man. Such a funny movie. Wasn't high on my list, but it's I could definitely see why it's on so many of the lists. So that was our number 1. I thought, so just as a review here, if anybody else have anything they want to say about Christmas Vacation?
So you can insert a graphic right now?
Nope, not entering a graphic. So our top 10, number 10 was Elf. Number 9, The Santa Claus. Number 8, Muppet Christmas Carol. Number 7, Charlie Brown Christmas. Number 6, A Christmas Story. Number 5, Polar Express. Number 4, It's a Wonderful Life. Number 3, Home Alone. Number 2, Nightmare Before Christmas. And number 1, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. I think that's a pretty good list overall.
Only 2 of those were on my list.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, we have so there's a lot of stuff we missed here. Jason's number 1. Jason, if you want to talk about your number 1, if you can remember what it was, if you remember that you put it on your list. Scrooge, number 1.
Scrooge was on my list.
Great movie.
Yeah.
Great movie.
That's my favorite Christmas Carol story version.
That was overall number 12. Number 12. It just missed out.
That was 17 on mine.
Let's say that's dead in my childhood. Scrooged was so.
Yeah.
I think the most memorable part of that for me was the old guy frozen.
Yeah, Mickey.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I haven't seen Krampus either. I need to.
Krampus was on a couple lists. Maybe just Adams. Let me see.
Probably just Adams.
That sounds like Adam.
Gritty.
I need to go see Violent Night.
Isn't that like a horror movie?
Violent Night.
Horror.
Yeah, it's a horror movie.
Horror.
No, how they describe it, a cross between Die Hard and I don't know, some other movie. I don't know.
Braveheart.
It doesn't matter.
Die Hard and Braveheart. I love it.
I want to see.
Nobody had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Nobody had that one.
That was on. Yeah, I had Rudolph on my list for sure.
Nice.
But Jason, Scrooged.
Yeah.
Everybody can talk about a couple of their own episodes or own stuff that didn't make the top 10 if you would like, and we'll start with Jason on Scrooged. Yeah, I think it made my list. Maybe not, but
I've seen that movie probably over 100 times, and I'm not sure I'm joking. When I was a kid, I would just watch it on a loop. That Bill and Ted, just constantly on.
Yeah.
There's not a moment of screen time I don't enjoy. It's just fun and feel good and scary too. You know, the Ghost of Future Present? No, the future one. Ghost of Future.
Christmas yet to come. Oh, yeah.
Yes. He's pretty freaky. He opens up his thing and all the faces and it was
for sure
gruesome as a kid. But
yeah,
I'm not sure I've seen this movie since the theater.
Oh wow! I remember when it came out on VHS and renting it, and then it took forever to be like available on anywhere else. But yeah, loved it. It didn't make sense, but I love it.
Cool. You also had a couple Doctor Who's, Love Actually, and the one I want to ask you about because I've never heard of it is Tokyo Godfathers.
It's an anime, and it's just this beautiful dramedy. You know, it's when you think of the animes, usually you think of something crazy action or what have you, but this is just a drama. It could almost be a live action movie about these 3 homeless people who find a baby and become, you know, its parents of sorts as they try to find the baby's parents. And
is it 3 men and a baby?
No.
No Steve
But-
Gutenberg.
But it is hilarious.
Rest in peace, Kirsty.
Yeah, it's on Netflix in Canada at least. Highly recommend it.
Really long drive to watch a movie.
You could rent it somewhere, I'm sure.
Or you just get what's called a VPN.
Or that.
Yes.
But yeah, good movie.
Cool. I will. That's definitely one I want to check out. On Emmett's list, I wanted to ask him about. Oh, he already talked about it. Family Man. I've never seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
You brought that up already. Nick Cage. I didn't even. I think I've seen it. I don't know if I realized that it was. That's like him in a more serious role, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, as serious as Nick Cage, can get in the early 2000s.
Right.
Is it like the sequel to The Weatherman?
That's
I
a good
wish.
one too.
I think of those movies together. I don't.
I do too. I like
Yeah.
when you said, I was like, "Are you talking about The Weatherman?" But obviously
It's
not.
a,
I
it's a
haven't seen
prequel to
either.
Massive Talent.
I've never heard of that one either.
The most current Nicolas Cage movie, where he plays himself.
It's a sequel to Con Air.
All right.
Radio silence.
Well, when you get this many people, you're expecting somebody to talk. So when nobody does, it's kind of awkward. So let me see. Adam had Batman Returns as his number 2, Christmas Vacation number 1,
There you go, Cage.
and of course his list. He had all the, Silent Night, Deadly Night, Office Christmas Party, Black Christmas, Krampus.
Black Christmas is good. It really is. I even like the remake that they did in the early 2000s. I enjoyed that one too.
What's
The
the message
original.
of that movie?
The message is kill teenage girls.
Very Christmassy.
Yeah!
Won't get home for too many people.
Gives you all the warm feelings.
Chris, LNC Chris had the X-Files, How the Ghost Stole Christmas, and I think I remember seeing that when it first came out. I wanted to watch it again, and I didn't get around to it. What do you like about that one, Chris?
It's Christmas with the X-Files, and it's it's you get that X-Files feel, and they mix that in with Christmas, and somehow you come out feeling better for it. It's really one of my favorite series of all time, and there's actually a few Christmas episodes with the X-Files that just really, really good. Just love the show.
I gotta let Steve know that it's only the 6th of December right now, so you got plenty of time to still watch these shows.
No, I know. I just want to be able to share it with you guys, and I know you're waiting for my opinion. I know that you guys do that. All right. On my list, this one actually made number 11. It actually tied for number 10, but number 10 was on more lists, so this just missed out. Was the How the Grinch Stole Christmas from 1967, the original cartoon. Love it. Yeah. Just really, there's so many good Grinch movies, and I think that one really stands out.
One of the 3 that didn't make the top 10 on my list was the 2000 Grinch.
That one's good too.
Jim Carrey, that the Jim Carrey one?
Yeah, the live action Jim Carrey one.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
well done.
And then we had Chris Evans had his number 1, Jingle All the Way.
That was number 1?
Turbo Man.
Yeah, I love that stupid movie. Yes. I think it's hilarious, and it has no message other than buy toys. But I just think it's hilarious, and I love Arnold
when you
Schwarzenegger,
can't find
especially.
the toy, just dress up as one and steal it from somebody.
Exactly, and then give it back to the crazy guy anyway. But I love Arnold Schwarzenegger, especially that period of Arnold Schwarzenegger where he was doing like those comedies and stuff. So it really hits home for me. And plus, growing up with the Power Rangers, that was like, oh, okay, it's like a Power Ranger. I get that.
Right.
And it has all the fun jokes, like nobody wants Booster because that's all they could find. Phil Hartman is in it, who I also love, and it's one of his best movie roles, I think. So yeah, Jingle All the Way is my favorite Christmas movie, even though, yes, I understand it is very stupid.
It's okay.
Love what
And
you
of
love.
course, you had also had Love Actually, Bad
I like-
Santa, While You Were Sleeping,
Which is a great rom-com for Christmas time.
Christmas with the Cranks.
Yeah, nobody seems
That-
like that but me.
That almost made
Sounds
my
like
list.
my wife's Christmas
No.
list.
I like
He loves all of those movies.
my list.
I also forgot to put Trapped in Paradise on there, which is another favorite of mine.
You wonder why you chose them as your podcasting buddy.
Yeah, that's right.
I had Christmas with the Cranks on mine, but other stuff won out, so I took it off.
Yeah, I opened up Chris's list and I was like, man, is this? Do we do a top 10 rom-coms or what's going on here?
I could do a top 10 rom-coms if you want.
Yeah.
Not right now, though.
Chris can write that in his sleep.
I'm ready to.
What's the one with Vince Vaughn? I'm sorry, I just
Four
Christmases? That's
Four
a good
Christmases. That's a good one.
It is
one. Yeah, I like that one.
Swallow that baby.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh,
While You Were Sleeping was
Wow.
Kaiser's number one.
it's a good movie.
Lasseter, Thanos had Die Hard at number one. And also, everything else on the list has pretty much been mentioned already.
Yeah, I had Die Hard, Scrooged, and
most of your
Grinch
stuff-
were the only ones.
I think you had the most stuff that made the list. Probably.
That's because I'm amazing.
Yeah. But you're number one.
Gremlins.
Oh,
Gremlins on there.
Yeah, Gremlins should have been on mine too. That was another good one.
did you put that on there, Dave?
Yep. Gremlins is my number 7.
That's a good one. Yeah, it's a good
That one always gets left
So
out because people
Gremlins
get
is more
hung up
about
on the
Christmas
word.
than A Christmas Story to you, huh, Chris?
What was that?
I said Gremlins is more about Christmas than A Christmas Story.
I feel it is. It's debatable.
You're getting me. I'm glad you only do it to myself.
Jim's list was pretty unique. He had a
I don't know.
Lost the Constant episode. Miracle on 34th Street, which I'm surprised. I think he's the only one. Maybe one other had it on their list. Really, I'm surprised that one didn't make the list. That's a real good Christmas movie, in my opinion. The original one, the remake, that's almost identical to it. I think it's they have a scene for scene remake as well.
The same
That's
guy
out
did the
there.
remake of Psycho.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's when you talk about Christmas messages and stuff, and that's a really good one. Then you had Modern Family, Undeck the Halls. You had Gremlins and a Park and Rec episode on there as well.
This is the
And
first
then-
time Grabs is
I had
hearing
Gremlins on my
Yeah, it was funny because I'm watching you and
He
you're
doesn't
reading the
know.
list. I'm like, oh yeah, it's like he doesn't even realize what's on there.
Like I said, I did not put a whole lot of time into this list, but
I say he prepares for this show as much as you prepare for Lost in Comics, David.
I
I do very.
read over
little preparing for
some
this
most
show.
of it.
Guys, you didn't catch episode 88, Lost in Comics, man. David really put on a solid. Remember, I think it was he did a character
88
study.
episodes?
Yeah, I mean, it
Was
was like
that Solomon Grundy? Is that the one? Or
I think that was
are we
it,
talking
yeah.
Booster Gold.
I just remember it was that one episode.
Solomon Grundy.
She's the one.
I just remember it was that one episode, man.
That one episode.
Don't you talk bad about David, man. He came in the clutch that one show.
That one show.
And then David had Christmas Story as his number one. He also had Rudolph.
Yeah.
We watch that movie every year. Really like it.
Yeah.
And this is David. I don't know if you don't pay attention to Twitter, so you didn't get on my whole conversation about this show last year. But I have a total Mandela effect with Rudolph. And there's a scene with the Abominable.
Yeah.
Where I swear that when I was a kid and I watched it, he had a toothache, and the kid pulled the tooth that gave him the toothache, and that's what stopped him from being angry. Wait, no, that's how the new one goes. The original, in one of them, they knock all of his. In the original, they drop the rock on his head and knock all of his teeth out, and then he can't bite them. And I swear that's the version I saw as a kid. And I looked it up online, and there are a bunch of other people that remember the same thing. But there's
so
no
is that like a
version of it.
legit? There's two versions of it, or is that like
No.
Well,
They
you'd have to
told
read
us
up on the
to do
whole
The
Mandela
Mandela.
effect thing, where people
Mandela
remember
effect.
stuff that didn't happen for whatever reason.
Oh, okay.
So you wanted it to be more
Yeah.
violent then, with them dropping the rock?
Yeah, I can't remember which way. I can't even remember which one's the
I
real
want it
one,
to be
and I
more
watch it
violent.
every
That
year.
sounds awesome.
That's-
Like
That
someone
sounds cool,
started
but-
just talking about that, and it kind of took, and people are running with it, and
yeah.
like
Or-
interesting.
Some
I just
Well,
remember
what they
Santa
say-
was kind of mean.
Usually it
Isn't
goes
Santa
the other
mean
way.
in that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, he was on the
Yeah,
island.
I remember watching. I was like, "Damn, Santa's kind of mean in this one." Like,
Making fun of his nose, like
yeah,
At
yeah,
first,
in the beginning.
yeah.
Yeah,
You should
Rudolph
watch
was
the
pretty
Santa
cool.
Claus.
Well, they used to
All right,
laugh
not to
and
cut
call
it
him
short,
names.
but I got to run, guys.
Who's that?
Thanos.
Me.
Oh, Jason?
Yeah.
And Thanos?
No,
Yeah,
I don't know if Jason is, but I have
Oh.
to.
yeah.
Yeah, my dad called while we were on this. So I got to call.
All
him
right,
back.
guys. I appreciate you coming on.
Yeah.
I'm still
thanks
here.
A lot. Oh, you're still here. Okay.
Unless you
Oh,
want
you
to
were
play
waiting
me.
Kick you
You
off.
were waving at him.
Gonna play the music again.
All right, Brian, take it easy. Appreciate you being on.
Good night,
Yeah,
Thanos.
later, guys.
Yeah,
Take
take
care,
it
man.
easy. And then David also had very Harold and Kumar Christmas
Yeah,
on his list.
it's kind of fun, crazy.
Yeah, I didn't even know they did a
That,
Christmas.
yeah, yeah. They made one a while back. It's up there, like and immediately on my list, Office Christmas Party, and then Harold and Kumar. Those are the kind of like crazy movies. So I try to have I put some effort into this. Have I guess a little bit of every genre, like the fun, wild stuff, the nostalgia, and then the good, heartwarming Christmas story, like It's a Wonderful Life kind of.
Right.
So it's got a little bit of everything on my list there.
Yeah. Cool.
See, there we go. Kaiser Jose.
Nice. Is there any other movies we didn't talk about that you want to bring up, talk about that you really like, enjoy?
Movies.
Anything?
Batman Returns I had on my list for a while, even though
Uh-huh.
it's barely a Christmas movie. It's a fun winter.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. I like the Christmas aesthetic to that movie.
Mm.
It feels like Christmas. It looks like Christmas on the screen.
Especially the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, the tree, when they steal the baby and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
And the death of the Ice Princess. She was going to do the big tree lighting thing, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's still cool.
Let's put it on there.
I think
Like it.
best use of a Christmas song has to go to Lethal Weapon, right?
Oh yes,
Lethal Weapon, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Jingle Bell
it was
Rock.
Christmassy. See, I always think of Die Hard, but yeah, you're right. Lethal Weapon was Christmas.
Starts off Christmas music playing.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is also set during Christmas.
Don't start.
I'm not. You're done with it.
That would be our list next week, Jim. We'll do the top 10 Christmas movies
Not
that aren't
Christmas
Christmas movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On Christmas.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's
Cool.
not bad.
Has anyone seen
What?
Trap in Paradise?
No.
No.
It's with Nicolas Cage, Dana Carvey, and John Lovitz.
Oh, good Lord.
That's a-
I think
Great.
I
It's a great cast.
Can you imagine hanging out at that party? Wow. What's
That's
it
why
about?
no one remembers it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it wasn't very popular. So they're all ex-cons. Nicolas Cage didn't go. I think he didn't go to jail as long as the other two. But when they get out, they're brothers. So when Dana Carvey's character and John Lovitz's character get out of prison, they tell their brother, "Hey, we gotta go do a favor for a buddy who was in jail with us." Well, they lied, and they end up robbing a bank in a small town that they get stuck in, and it's set during Christmas. And it's all about. It's got a Christmas lesson in it somewhere, but I just focus on the funny stuff.
Nice.
nice.
Cool.
The Ref was a fun one. I don't
Yes.
remember it well, but that
I
was
like that
one that
one,
I
yeah.
was like, oh, I should go watch that.
That's a good one.
What was it called?
The Ref? It's got Dennis Leary, and he plays.
Oh, okay. I know the rest.
Oh yeah.
I was
It was on James
Chris
Levin.
Evans. What was that one you were talking about? Nicolas Cage.
Trapped in Paradise.
Trapped in Paradise. Okay.
So do you guys do like big? What is watching these movies in December or around Christmas a big thing for you and your families, or?
It's more just kind of having them on during like the season, I guess, to kind of make the mood. You got the lights on, you decorate, and just every now and then there's a Christmas movie on, so you just kind of leave it on while you're doing stuff. I mean, that's how we are. We don't really do a sit down and watch kind of session,
Right.
but not often at least. But it's mainly just having this stuff on just to kind of again get that feeling going. So you're seeing Christmas stuff and hearing Christmas movies at the same time. Get that feeling going.
Sure.
Just don't have any Christmas music in those movies.
Yeah.
Why do you hate music, Jim?
I love Christmas music.
Now, are there any movies you guys watch around Christmas that aren't Christmas movies, but just Christmas tradition?
Die Hard.
Yeah.
Lethal Weapon.
Christmas or random stuff. Yeah.
Like for us, it's always Wizard of Oz because my wife is a huge Wizard of Oz fan,
Oh, yeah.
and for some reason that's a Christmas time. I don't know if that's because she's Canadian. Do you guys, is that a Christmas time thing up there in Canada?
No.
Does it come on TV regularly or no?
No.
Okay. And then I know when I was living in England, their thing was always The Sound of Music was the big Christmas
I like
Day.
watching-
Half baked.
Yeah,
That's
I
a
like
big one,
watching
half
like
baked.
franchises. So for some reason, like I like it was. I think it was a couple of Christmases ago. I watched all the Star Wars around this time.
Yeah.
And I just finished watching the James Bond ones. Something about watching a franchise. I don't know why. Like just not watching one-off movies, but I don't know. I was talking to Chris about it, and he made it sound like it was like familiar movies, but like make me feel it. Just make me feel a certain way. I don't know. Just to get to watch them this time of year.
Lord of the Rings is that for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
It's
they
something
all
about watching
Christmas
a
and-
trilogy or a group of movies all in a row. I don't know what it is.
Yeah, for me it's Doctor Who.
Mhm.
All the Doctor Who specials I put on.
Chris, LNC Chris.
Yeah, I think a lot of these movies we like. My wife and I will definitely throughout the month watch these. For sure, It's a Wonderful Life, National Lampoons. Like there's some staples that we'll sit down and watch. Now that we have kids, right? Like it's we definitely watch The Grinch, which is my son's favorite, the Jim Carrey version. Definitely watch that. We watch all the Rudolph. We're going to do Charlie Brown Christmas, Frosty the Snowman, which didn't get mentioned at all.
Yeah.
That's a great one. That's a good one. The
Yeah, it is.
original. So we're definitely those people where we sit down, we actually watch them in the evening, and I think to Emmett's point, I was just thinking about that, about how this season, how you kind of binge things. I feel like we have a tendency to do the same thing. I feel like you just get like around Thanksgiving time, you get into this like just that holiday spirit where you're like staying up too late. You're tired for work the next day.
Yeah.
Then you just kind of run yourself like that all the way from Thanksgiving all the way through the New Year, and then you have a very difficult time getting out of January. So yeah, I think I love this time of year, man. It's like you just soak all that entertainment in and movie
Yeah, for
shows.
sure.
I love it. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Pretty much the whole month is. This year's a little different. We're going up to Vancouver to my mother-in-law's for Christmas, which I'm really looking forward to. So we're not doing the decorations and stuff this year, which it's nice not having to put up all the lights and stuff. But you kind of miss doing it too when you don't have it. Going through the whole thing of setting everything up, but yeah. So
Well, there won't be any snow up there either. So
no, not in Vancouver. There won't be.
It'll just be rain.
They actually got quite a bit in Seattle and stuff this last week, but yeah, it will definitely be raining.
Well, hey guys, I hate to do this, man, but speaking of work, I Man, I've been having a rough week, and I'm going to have to bail out of here for a bit.
Hey, thanks, David. Appreciate it. We're wrapping up here in just a couple minutes anyway. So
go ahead and stay on, man.
Being here.
Just kidding.
Whoa, man. He's such a pusher, man.
We're getting out of here. So just go ahead and stay right there, man.
Yeah. So,
Just kidding.
All right.
But thanks for having me on, man. You guys be
Hey,
good.
thanks for being here, David. Appreciate
How we
it.
going, David?
See you later,
Okay,
fellas.
Take it easy.
Yeah,
Nice to
take
chat
care,
with
man.
you.
Yes, sir.
So, has everybody watched the Guardians? Kaiser mentioned it.
Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
hasn't seen it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I didn't think
fun.
it was. Yeah, it was a fun movie. I'll watch it every year. I think.
I think I
I
loved
don't know
it.
if it'll make my list yet, but what's that?
I think I loved it. It was really entertaining, and I didn't know Kevin Bacon was in it, so that was news to me. I didn't watch the
How
trailers.
did you avoid that spoiler?
I didn't watch the trailers.
I didn't know till now.
Neither did I. Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh. Sorry, Jim.
Ah,
It's Emmett's fault.
Yeah, he's used to watching our show where we spoil everything, so it's okay.
Yeah, but no, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
And Kevin Bacon is the plot point, Jim. I mean, that's the whole movie.
I was going to watch it today, but I watched Willow instead.
I saw your tweet on that. It was pretty good, huh?
Oh, loved it. It was just fun fantasy, simple, great.
Wow. Very nice. I'm going to check that out.
Yeah, I'm going to watch the movie first. 'Cause I've never seen the movie, but then I'll watch the show.
You don't need it. They really do a great job of just saying, "This is what happened in the movie."
I'm just
Seconds,
curious.
Over. Yeah.
Whenever
Oh,
I
it's a
see
great
Warwick,
movie.
whenever I see Warwick Davis, I automatically think of Leprechaun. So I'd like something to cleanse the palate with him.
Oh yeah. No, I knew him from this, so that was my first exposure. It's a great movie.
Cool. That's nice.
Great sledding scene in that one too.
All right, guys. Well, I think we're about to wrap up here. We're out at the 2-hour mark, so that's just about perfect. I really appreciate you guys all being here. A lot of fun going over these lists, and, cutting everybody off, and echoes and dead air and all that kind of stuff. That's kind of what we're about. So
that's what we do.
That's what we do. Yeah, we are. The mid in our name is definitely there for a reason. Thanks to Ian and Kaiser for being in the chat. Appreciate you being here. Ian, hope you can go back and watch the rest. Glad you could catch the end of it on your lunch break. Kaiser for keeping everything busy in there. And any last parting words for anybody before we go?
Just want to say thanks for having us on.
Hey, thanks for coming.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yes, thank you, guys.
Of course. All right, and then before we go, I am just going to leave everybody with this, as we say, Merry Christmas, and we will see you all. Make sure you guys check out, if you're watching, check out Gathering of the Geeks. They gather on Sundays. Lost in Comics, they're randomly on Thursdays live, and sometimes whenever Chris posts videos. And then there's us.
Sometimes on
We record on,
Tuesdays, we don't know.
yeah, we usually post on Wednesdays, but we do stuff on Tuesdays and Mondays and whatever days. So go check out all that. Support everybody that's here, and everybody else that's out there in the community as well. Again, thanks to everybody, and I'll leave you with this. Hello, friends. Please join me for a cup of holiday cheers as I share one of my favorite Christmas stories. "'Twas some weeks before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The posters were hung on the walls with such care, with the hopes that our favorites would soon be up there. The comics were safely and bagged with their boards, never a story to be left unexplored. The albums were playing with music so groovy, even more characters to love on the TV and movies. On Kane, on Finger, on Siegel and Schuster, on Spidey and Batman, on Thanos and Booster. Joey or Swanson or Barney or Schrute, who is your favorite? That point is quite moot. Love Solo or Frodo or James Bond or Neo. Love Raph or Donnie or Mikey or Leo. No matter your taste, We all love our hobby, and we'll try our best not to make it too snobby. I'll leave you with this, I'll make it clear, I'll make it snappy. Do what you love, it'll keep you happy. But when all is said and done, there's so much more to life. Your friends, your family, your husband, or your wife. So always make time to love and embrace them, because when they are gone, you can never replace them. Only one more thing to say. I'll leave you with this slice. Merry Christmas to all, and to all, a good advice.
Okay, I like It's a Wonderful Life.